Hi, it's Steve MIGS, your new Wrestling with Regret YouTube champion. I just want to take a moment to thank Gentleman Jervis for giving me the opportunity to wrestle him for this title. It was a hard-fought, fair match, but there has to be a winner and unfortunately a loser, and sadly for Jervis, he was the loser. But I do want to thank him for giving me that opportunity. Now, before the match, I saw the video that he put on Wrestling with Regret's YouTube channel. He wrote a song about beating Steve MIGS. And, well, if you missed it, here it is.
And I will beat Steve MIGS with your help.
You know, since I'm the YouTube champion, I feel like I should do YouTube things. And one of the popular things on YouTube? Mashups, remixes, things along those lines. So I pulled out my drum set. I hit up my buddy Danny to teach me a couple things on the guitar. And well, I've put together this for Gentleman Jervis. A verified remix of the song that he wrote about me.
And I will beat Steve MIGS with your help. And I will beat Steve MIGS with your
I want to know what's going on. Is he aligned now with Oolah Law? Is the belt like not in your court anymore? I mean, like, what's going on here? It seems like a weird happening.
Yeah, I'm really conflicted by this, Jay. Like, honestly, like on the one hand, I'm really happy because like I saw Steve MIGS. He sent me that sizzle reel, and I was immediately hooked. I was like, you know what? Steve MIGS will be a great Wrestling with Regret YouTube champion. I think he has the chutzpah and the know-how. He could carry that brand and do a really good job with it. So that's why I put him in the title match. I was going to watch the match as kind of a neutral observer on commentary, and no matter where the cards fell, I was going to be happy because I like Gentleman Jervis as well. He also did a great job holding up the brand of Wrestling with Regret as the YouTube champion. He held it for almost a year. He won it last April, in fact. So he's held it for a long time, holding it down. And I also would have been happy if Steve MIGS won because, again, he's someone who I kind of saw a little bit of myself in him. If you watch the footage, you can see Mr. actually grabbed the YouTube championship from the ring attendant. He gently put it on the ring apron in the corner. He knew what was going to happen next because then Steve, he grabbed the championship, he clocks Jervis with it, and then he wins the championship. I see Mr. Ooh La La and Steve MIGS like shaking hands and hugging after the match. And that threw me for a loop. And I apologize that I'm losing my voice here, but this is very important to me because I've always made one thing very clear. The YouTube championship is my domain. It's my jurisdiction, and I have control over that champion. I don't mean that in kind of an authoritarian way, but I handle the champion's business because I am in control of the Wrestling with Regret brand. He is my champion. I am perfectly fine being the commissioner of POW Pro Wrestling and sharing POW Pro Wrestling with Mr. Ooh La La, who is the impresario. I am not okay with sharing this championship belt right here. I'm not okay with sharing the YouTube championship with Mr. He can have his own clients, right. He can manage his own people, and he can do his own thing with them. But for him to kind of
He's got his own belts.
He has his own powder blue belt, exactly. Right. For him to swoop in and to try and what I can only assume is to usurp my champion from me, that puts me in a bit of a funk. It kind of sticks in my craw. As a governing body and official of Wrestling with Regret and the championship, I control the matches, like I said, which is why I have put on this very special match. You heard me allude to it in the video about the toga party. There will be a toga party on February 19th in Eugene, Oregon.
For Davey Richards, but not to be, at least not yet, and Davey Richards right back going to work. And I just go back to him diving into the deepest end of the pool by challenging AJ Gray in his West Coast Pro debut. Was knew there was nowhere to go but down. He's thinking about maybe a suplex for a moment, maybe Mabel and over Blackwood. Davey Richards can't believe it. Richards took that left arm out of the equation. No remorse. And for him to go after a guy like Juicy Finale, somebody that's just the sort of the epitome of fun, optimism, and making the most of life, it speaks to the place that AJ Grant's got.